did hear that John Ossoff, when he was in D.C., was staying at a Holiday Inn Express. So that. Listen, I agree. Great crowd. Great to see you all this morning. I want to also thank, as Jason did, my wife Marty and our 3 daughters for being here today, family members, friends, and fellow Republicans. My name is Brian Kemp. I'm a conservative business owner, and I'm running to be your next governor. You know, it was never my plan to run or serve in public office. As Jason said, I grew up in Athens, graduated from the University of Georgia. I started my first real estate investment company in the 80s and expanded from there. And as a small business owner, it didn't take long to realize 2 things. I was good at figuring out how to run a small business, and I figured out that government was good at getting in the way. And I literally ran for the state senate because I was fed up and I'd had enough. All the rules, regulations, taxes, and mandates that were crushing small businesses as well as working Georgians. I knew there had to be a better way. Now, if you remember back then, I was a first-time candidate, an outsider, if you will, and a Republican. The pundits and the political elite said I didn't stand a chance against a well-funded liberal and Democrat in literally one of the bluest areas of our state and of the Southeast. This was a Democratic district, and the Democrats were going to keep it that way. Believe it or not, some of the political class already wrote me off in that race. But you know what? I just doubled down, worked harder, and earned a hard-fought victory. And then I took that same fight to the state capitol, where in the Senate I fought for lower taxes on businesses and hard-working Georgia families. I fought to repeal job-crushing regulations and to do what we said we were going to do, to reduce the size and scope of government. I fought for the people of Georgia, not the special interest. The status quo was not good enough for me. I fought for our future. I decided to run for Secretary of State, and as you all well remember, I had been in that race for over a year when unforeseen circumstances led Governor Perdue to appoint me as Georgia's next Secretary of State. And I immediately, in that quick turnaround, turned to my experience as a small business owner to change bureaucracy into business-friendly government. It helped that, unlike many, I never ever became a full-time politician. As many of you know, I've stayed active in my businesses and have never lost sight of the challenges that people in the private sector face. As your Secretary of State, I put voters, job creators, businesses, and hardworking Georgians first. We cut the red tape, we started streamlining government, and just doing the right thing, even when no one was watching. And I fought hard literally every single day in that office for you. The Obama Justice Department tried to stop us from verifying the citizenship of new voters and keeping our voter rolls clean. Well, you know what? We fought them in court and we won. Common Cause, and other acorn-like special interest groups, and we won there too. And as you know, with the 6th congressional district race going on, I've now been fighting Georgia Democrats, trying to undermine the integrity of our ballot box, and we won that battle in the past, and we'll continue to win it in the future. I've also fought the media, and sometimes they're fake news. Well-connected, and their deep pockets, the politically correct and their ridiculous demands, and the agitators and their above-the-law mentality, and we won. And listen, while we're on the subject, don't forget that if you register to vote in the state of Georgia, you have to be a citizen of this country and of this state. And this kind of but I'm not done fighting for our families, small business owners, and hardworking Georgians. I stand before you today, Cobb County, because I'm not done fighting against the special interest groups who are trying to undermine our values and our rights. I'm standing before you today, friends, neighbors, and fellow Republicans, because I'm not done fighting for Georgia's future. I'm a conservative business owner who knows how to put government in its place. A recent example of that is using technology and innovation to completely reform the Secretary of State's office. And we've got a plan to reform Georgia as well. As you know, our state has been ranked #1 for business 4 years in a row. It's a designation that we certainly are proud of. Over the years, we've welcomed companies like Caterpillar, Baxter, Mercedes, and many others to Georgia. They've created jobs and made huge investments in our economy. But as your governor, I have another goal in mind. We're going to make Georgia the #1 state for small business as well. The #1 state to start a small business, expand a small business, own a small business, and work in a small business. I'm talking about the mom and pop shops, small construction firms, doctor's offices, and locally owned franchises. We're going to put you first. We're going to put you first, startup tech firms and family farms. State government will be working for you. And after 30+ years in business, I know that the only way for us to make Georgia the #1 state for small business is by making state government more responsive, efficient, and accountable. We absolutely must take a deadgum chainsaw to burdensome job-killing regulations, destroy mandates that penalize progress, stand firm against any healthcare overhaul plan that punishes growth. But it doesn't end there. To make Georgia the #1 state for small business, we cannot be a state divided. We have to treat rural Georgia the same way we treat the metro area. No playing favorites. Rural Georgia must be a priority, not an occasional talking point. Better paying jobs, stronger economies, high-speed internet, and quality, accessible health care. These are my priorities, and I know that you know that what's good for rural Georgia is good for all of Georgia. But let me be clear here, I'm not talking about a big dollar government bailout or handout. To move rural Georgia and the rest of our state forward, we must fundamentally reform the way that government works. As your governor, I will fight to institute a spending cap that adjusts with inflation and population. My spending cap will be simple. We will cut waste, agree on our spending priorities, and pass a conservative budget that reflects our values. Georgia taxpayers will get what's left. And I know that this can be done because as Secretary of State, we had to deal with cutting our budget over 25%. We did more with less. We ran our agency like a small business, so I know that it can be done. We must fundamentally change the way that state government spends, operates, and taxes if we want a bright and prosperous future. But government reform does not end there. We also must put Georgians first and draw a clear line in the sand on illegal immigration. As you know, as Secretary of State, I've worked to secure our elections and prevent illegal citizens or illegal immigrants from voting in Georgia. Liberals have tried everything they could do to stop us, and I've fought them every single day and way. I'll do the same as your governor. Cities and campuses that ignore our immigration laws will be defunded, and illegal aliens will no longer receive taxpayer-funded subsidies. Students of undocumented workers will not receive special treatment at our public universities. This this is Georgia. We will be putting Georgians first. People won't like this agenda, certainly the liberals won't, but I've taken their blows and their obscene comments before. And you know, there'll be some Republicans that won't like this either. It's bold, it's real, and it's conservative. But I've stood toe-to-toe with competitors, enemies, and adversaries in business and government before. I'm not scared, and you should not be either. As Joshua 1:9 says, be strong and courageous. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. Amen. That is our mantra. That is our mantra. This will not be we will not be silenced at the pulpit, at the courthouse, or the state house by those who want the status quo. We will not compromise our values to appease those who want to destroy us. We will not make excuses, and we will not back down. We will not stop fighting for our communities and our state and for those freedoms that we all hold so dear. My promise to you is this morning. In the same way that I have remained faithful to my wife and my 3 daughters, I will remain faithful to you. I'll take my decades of experience as a conservative small business owner and go to work for you. And just like I fought in the state Senate and as your Secretary of State, I will fight for you as governor. I will ask that you keep us in your prayers. I want to ask for your vote and ask you to join us on this journey. Together, we can fundamentally reform the state government. We will continue to fight. We will continue to win. And we will ensure a better Georgia tomorrow. Thank you for being here today. God bless us.